Hi, everybody. Believe it or not, we are already in week 4, and this week is going to be a lot different than the last few weeks. You're probably used to this, but there's not going to be any new content. This week is going to be used to reflect on the overall experience this month, which means this video is going to be much shorter than normal. I do want to take a couple minutes, though, and just kind of look back over the course of the last 3 weeks. So I kicked off the first Zoom by having an activity, essentially. And I'm kind of hoping, again, that you all hit pause and kind of went through the motions of doing this. But I challenged you on what if I gave you a bottled water company and you had to brand it, you had to come up with the logo, you had to market it, you had to, how are you going to reach your target audience? How are you going to decide who your target audience is? And how does that influence your choices? So I'm hoping that you were able to make some choices based on what you learned throughout your MCBS experience. But what I'm hoping even more now, flash 3 weeks later, is that you would be able to make a lot more strategic choices based on what we covered this month. So having a totally different understanding of your target audience by understanding the way that we process, knowing now that you can make more strategic choices to increase engagement. And engagement doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to change their behavior. So what are you going to do to pull in different ways to influence and persuade to make sure that they are actually following through with what it is that you're asking them to do, and then ensuring that you have a very clear call to action. That is probably one of the most critical pieces of content that you're going to ever create, regardless, again, of what direction you go into. So please don't misinterpret this, that this is only valuable for people who are going into marketing or advertising or PR. This is any avenue that you go through whatsoever. The process is still the same. So hopefully you are being, again, able to make more strategic and informed choices based on what we covered, from the brain-based strategies, the primal feeling and thinking, to the neuromarketing techniques that you were introduced to. And then on the flip side, to get to influence and persuade them, your target audience, to take action. And then finally, making sure that you're using effective headline techniques, making sure that you have that clear call to action and spoon feed everything that your target audience needs to hear in order to not give themselves permission slips not to take the action. So this is a quick glance at exactly what I'm hoping that you're taking out of this month. And where talking about it is great, it is time to really kind of bring home the implementation of some of these ideas. But the last 2 activities I'm going to ask you to do are based on 2 really important things that we learned about the brain. One, we know that things have to be relatable. If we want to hook our target audience, then we have to find a way to make sure that they can relate to whatever it is that we're doing. And 2, the more unique we can make it, the more we're going to kick them off of autopilot and grab their attention, because that's what we have a tendency to focus on more than anything else. So based on those 2 things, I will say, when it comes time to talking about the brain, I unapologetically and very transparently let you all know that it is my favorite subject matter in the whole world. And so I can talk and talk and talk and talk about it. But I know that that doesn't necessarily ring, true to everybody, and it's not exactly relatable content for everyone. I hope everybody's interested in it. But what I do need to do is take what I want to talk about and make sure that I can connect it with you all in a way that is relatable and meaningful for you. And if I were a betting girl, which I am, I would bet this close to graduation, what is relevant to you all and relatable to you all is the idea of getting hired. So in order to hit that sweet spot of relevancy, one of the last activities you're going to be doing is start thinking about the revisions that you would like to do for your portfolio based on what you learned in this class. How can you make the layout more strategic? For instance, if you're doing a photography portfolio, if that's the direction you want to go into, then how are you choosing which visuals you have at the very beginning? Make sure that you have a really strong visual, one of your photos at the very beginning, and a really strong one at at the very end? And are there any that speak to the primal brain? If so, you would want to put those at the very beginning of your photographs. So it's just a matter of kind of, again, thinking strategically on how you're going to use this information. Now, I do not expect you to actually follow through and make the changes right now. And the reason I don't expect that is because next month you're going to be working with Kevin De La Serna in your Port 7 class, and he's going to be walking you through revisiting and revising your resume, your portfolio, all of that stuff based on what is expected from the industry. So what a potential boss or client is going to be looking for. And so I don't want you to go through the, jump through hoops and make all these changes and then get to Kevin's class and hear, oh, well, they really don't want it structured that way, or you might want to change this. So this month is just all about wrapping up with just jotting down your ideas and being able to explain why you would make the changes that you would. And then next month you will actually be following through with revising your portfolio, preparing your resume, and all of that good stuff. So of course, as you all have become very accustomed, because it is week 4, you will be doing your RISE reflection. However, this is where the unique part comes in. Because you're so close to graduation and because there's so much going on in the world right now, I really am going to give you full freedom to approach this RISE reflection however you want to. That means freedom in whatever it is you choose to talk about, and freedom in the way that you deliver it. So if you want to talk about your experience in this class, great. But if you would rather talk about your experience overall in MCBS, or if you want to talk about stuff that's not even related to school right now, and what's on your mind is more connected to what to expect after graduation or current events, anything like that, this is your reflection. And I want it to be connected to exactly just that, whatever is most important to you right now. You are welcome to do a video, but you are not, you're not isolated to only using video as your delivery method. The only delivery that's not accepted would be just a pure text-based document. And the only reason for that is we are media communicators, and that is not necessarily a way to reflect what's been taught in the program, and more recently, what's been taught in my class. So keeping those in mind, this is your reflection. Do with it whatever you want. As far as what's next, I just kind of mentioned that a second ago. You are going to be working with Kevin, really honing in on what's going to get you those interviews and hopefully lead to a job. And so that's what's going to be happening next month. Again, I cannot say it enough. If you have any questions, if there's anything that I can help you with, even beyond class, of course, keep my contact information handy and reach out, and I'm happy to help in any way that I can. My hope for this month is that you all are leaving here with an increased sense of confidence, that you understand that you can make way more strategic choices with your design. You can bring in some influence and persuasion techniques, and just overall understand that you can navigate your choices with a lot more intention. And with that confidence, I'm hoping that you're feeling even more prepared for life after graduation. And that is it, my friends. That is a wrap. If there's anything I can do, again, I'm here, happy to do it. Just reach out.